Hello, it's me.
What's up, chat? It's good to see ya. Gosh, I'm so happy you're here. It must be my birthday. Holy moly. Thank you guys so much for taking a second and watching the video. Make sure that you watch the entirety of this video. It is another Charlie Kirk one. And today it is titled, This is What Your Children Become When You Send Them to College. I went to college. My wife went to college. Everyone I know around me went to college. So let's see what Mr. Kirk says about going to college. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. Let's get into this.
Hello.
Hi. About that, well, first question, why can't marriage be allowed with two men or two women? That question got me.
Yeah, so, I mean, allowed and what it is are two different things. So
It is allowed, first of all. It absolutely is. And the second thing is, it's not right morally if you're a Christian. We're done. If you're not a Christian, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But it is a sin if you are a Christian.
again, just strictly from what marriage has always been, is the idea of two separate parts coming in a union to be able to have, hopefully, a lifelong partnership to raise kids, adopt kids, or have kids, and to become better versions of themselves. It is the attraction of opposites. And so if you want to redefine marriage, that's fine, that's your contention, but I take a classical view of marriage.
Based on, like, what is that based on what? The
Well,
Bible?
The natural
Biblical.
law.
Is that the Bible?
Well, natural law is separate than the Bible, but it's harmonic with the Bible. That's
Yeah,
correct.
it's harmonious.
Oh.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Because what
He's saying that, but he also deep down, because he is Christian, he knows that his views is biblical. But if he says, hey, this is biblical, then he automatically loses any ground with this girl, because you can tell this girl is 100% against Christians.
would you say? What is the purpose of marriage?
Marriage is like, I love you, you love me, let's
Got it. So
let's get together.
Can a 25-year-old marry an 8-year-old?
No,
Why?
Why?
because that 8-year-old is not ready. Like, they
Got it. So
are
that's
how do
the
you
point.
know?
So then let's build out your definition more. Then.
Right.
Love each other, but also what? What is the purpose? What is the
I
destination
love-
of marriage?
We are two adults. We love
Got
each
it.
other.
Fair enough. Okay.
I
we
love
love
my
each other.
Coke
End
right
of
here.
story.
End of. Well, let's.
I'm gonna marry
Give
it.
me another thing, and maybe I'll add to
Okay,
it.
but is that it? Just is it about union, partnership, friendship? What is
I
the,
think it's just like, let's get our taxes
me.
good. Like, let's just get
What?
married. Like,
That's
I don't think there needs to be some
That's such a 5-year-old way of looking at it.
big crazy
No, that's
reason.
actually no. I'm not attacking you. I think marriage is holy, and by holy I don't just mean it in a religious sense. Holy means
Without God, there would be no such thing as marriage. You know why? Because in the beginning it says in the Bible that man was lonely. So God created woman for man because man was lonely. Without God, there's no such thing as marriage. So if you don't believe in God, then why do you believe in marriage? The origin across every religion on the planet, none of them speak about the creation of marriage other than God, the Bible.
separate, meaning it should be elevated, it should be celebrated. It's something that is so above the rest, and you just think it's like a tax advantage. And that's fine, because actually most Americans agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I think
It
marriage is
a tax
something where we should
advantage.
drop everything, like, wow,
Just a bonus.
two separate parts have just made a lifelong covenant with one another to learn about the other and to grow with each other, and it's difficult. And I think that we've lost that.
I mean, I'm
do
Jewish,
too.
and like in Judaism, there's the there's like the when you get married, the religious marriage, and then there's the government marriage. Like, you have to get married
For
twice,
sure.
basically. So I
That's
think
right.
what you're talking about is probably the religious marriage, like with a priest. I'm talking about
Yeah,
governmental marriage.
I'm even talking about government. I'm just saying traditionally our governmental marriage, again, I'm in the vast minority of opinion in the country, this has been the classical view that it's a
right.
man and a woman coming together in something sacred and something holy or elevated. Again, that's not...
I would say that's just a Christian marriage.
It's not necessarily Christian.
It's not
in
necessarily,
Judaism,
though.
In traditional rabbinical Judaism, Orthodox, homosexual marriage is not recognized.
That's right.
That is true.
So it's not Christian. In Islam, homosexual marriage is not recognized.
Okay.
So it's not just Christian.
Okay.
Right.
So it's Abrahamic.
Abrahamic.
All right, we agree.
Why do we care if there's no father? Like, like I grew up without a father. I feel like I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I'm in college.
You're really not.
Like why are we so towards the father? Why does he need to be there so much?
So just looking.
Oh, Lord. 80% of jails are filled with single-parent children. Single mom children, rather. 80% of jail is filled with them. Is that starting off?
Try to answer my question for me. Do you think what kind of is there any time, and you're being very vulnerable, and I appreciate that, when you were growing up, and maybe not, where you said, I wish I had a dad around?
My mom says I did wish for that once at a wishing well. But my mom was great. She supported me, provided me.
Sure. No, I'm not. It's not a knock on single moms.
It's
right.
Not a knock.
But was there
it's
ever a time maybe where a more masculine figure would have been helpful?
I can't really, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Like what? Can you give me an example of
Yes.
when a masculine figure would be helpful
when
in my life?
A boyfriend might have broke up with you, and you didn't want to talk to your mom because she just didn't get it, and you wanted a strong, stable man to say you're beautiful.
I think, I mean, I have, if my father was like, you're beautiful, that'd be cool. But like, if my mom was also like, you're beautiful,
Yeah,
I don't really
like
see
it.
a difference
You would.
between like my mom saying it and my father saying
Wow.
it.
Okay. Yeah. That's
not
I don't
normal.
see the world that way, because there's being a father to a daughter, there's a very unique bond between a father and a daughter.
That's true.
Where it's you fall in love again, but not romantic love. You fall in a different type of Greek love, which is called storge, which is a father-daughter love, where you have such affection for this incredible being, and your task is to shepherd that vulnerable, innocent girl through life all the way up until the marriage aisle, to kind of connect the two topics together, right?
Wow.
Where then you hand it off to another man, because women are worthy of protection.
So you're saying like there has to be a man in the woman's life.
Not
the
has
woman
to.
can't be
Not-
like.
Not has to, but what Charlie just described is 100% Christianity. He's just not putting a label on it. He's not saying it, but that's exactly what it is.
Like alone.
No, there are exceptions, but it is a beautiful ideal. And when that ideal falls apart, now let's talk about the technical side. In the black community, when fathers are no longer around, crime goes up, poverty goes up. Because you'll understand this less, and a man in the audience who grew up without a father will totally get this. If it's just a mom in the house, the dad should come in and discipline the 14-year-old for acting like a brat. The dad comes in and he says, stop doing this. You need to be able to outrank the 14-year-old brat with another masculine figure.
But don't you think that like there's a reason that a lot of the black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because like black men are more likely to be in prison.
Oh yeah, so why do people go to prison?
Don't shut up.
For like a lot of the time it's because they're in poverty and they have no other way to get.
Okay, so they commit crimes.
Because
Yeah, but so wait, so wait.
why do they
So wait, if
commit
commit
crimes.
crimes?
in poverty, we should give excuses for committing crime?
Yes, because
A
if they
crime is
have
a crime.
no
Murder?
I did not say murder. I said like
Murder's a crime.
I'm
So is
saying
stealing,
like
so
if
is
someone
assault.
is stealing something because they have no money
Oh,
and there's
so
no jobs.
That's so interesting. So you
Stealing's a crime. Illegal aliens are a crime. This and that's a crime.
think
Murder's
most
a crime.
crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I wouldn't. I'm not saying most.
Yeah, see he about caught her, bro. Like she about torched herself. She was about cooked.
So like gangbanging is like a crime of necessity?
That I
do
literally
it.
never said that. I'm saying
But
like
you're making an argument of crimes of
You're
necessity.
making
Like
an
they're so
argument that it
hungry
is,
they
yeah.
can't handle it.
I'm talking about
Right.
like crime that has to do with like getting food, getting stuff that you need to live.
Right.
Why can't you just get a job like me? Oh, because of racism. Look, when I go to a fast food restaurant, 99% of the staff is black everywhere. It's not just a few restaurants, it's all of them. So if I wanted a job and I was out on hard times and I tried to go get a job at a lower, fast food restaurant, I probably couldn't. You know why? Because the manager's black and he doesn't like white people. He only wants black people around him. I've experienced it hundreds of times, actually. And now you'll say, well, they're experiencing racism. No, they're the ones doing this. I'm the one experiencing racism. So I don't think her argument holds water here.
But we have food stamps for anyone that needs it. So that doesn't exist. We have subsidized housing for anyone that needs it. So that doesn't exist.
I actually do work at a food stamp government, a humane services government building, and the amount of people that I see in there that are getting food stamps is overwhelming. And in a day, I mean, there may be like 700 people come through, and they're all getting food stamps. And I would say about 95% of them are African American. I rarely ever see white people. I'm not saying they don't get them. I'm sure that they get a ton, probably even a majority, because they're much bigger of a population. This is all anecdotal. I could be way off base, but this is just, I'm just relaying experiences to you because I live in the South, and we're in a predominantly black area. So just anecdotal, just food for thought based on what I'm seeing. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm probably wrong, but just something I see.
We have free health care for any poor person that wants it, called Medicaid. That doesn't exist. We also have welfare, cash, for anyone that wants it. That doesn't exist. So what is it they're missing that they need to go? Sorry about that.
Well, the food, like a lot of food stamps might not cover all of what they need. And also housing is like,
they get
there's
more
not
money than I do.
There's not unlimited housing. A lot of people who are unhoused have to like
get $800 to
go to
$1,200
shelters,
food stamps.
and then they get kicked out of shelters because there's a mandatory stay limit.
I get
So it's not
$400
like you
a
just
month.
get a house.
It's not a stuff thing, though, right? It's like if you need stuff, there's also tons of charities out there that can provide assistance. Churches, you will not go hungry in this country. You will not starve in this country.
Yes, you will. There's
no, we have an
you've been on
obesity
State
problem.
Street.
We have an obesity problem,
That's
not a
an
starvation
excessive problem
in this country.
What are
But
you?
a real talk, I disagree with Charlie a little bit on this because we were denied food stamps like 8 times, I believe. Me and my wife went through tough times. Like we had both lost our job, trying to get unemployment, but the boss lied just to be in spite so that I couldn't get it. And it was his word versus mine. So couldn't get unemployment, couldn't get food stamps, couldn't get any government help. We kept applying. I don't know why I couldn't get them. I just couldn't. Income was zero. I spent like 6 months looking for a job. This was during the Obama era. And I could not find a job to save my life. Didn't get food stamps. I did starve. We actually did starve. We actually had to get help from parents, if that makes you feel better. But I highly disagree with Charlie. He's acting like you can just walk up and get it. But our conditions were right, but we were denied it. So that I hear what he's saying, but I do disagree.
What are you talking
In
about?
State Street, if any one of those people went to the local Episcopalian church or Methodist church, they will get fed. I guarantee it. If they go to a local food shelter, they will get fed.
Okay, but I'm talking. Okay, housing.
For housing. If we have Section 8 subsidized housing in this country, right?
We
if you
applied for
want
that
to have
too.
a roof over your head, you can have a roof over your head.
with like thousands of rules, and you can't
yes,
do
of course, yes. I mean,
like,
it's not ideal.
You don't get to rent a property from the government for free and then do anything you want to do. Come on, don't play that game.
But the point is this. So let's just go back to the crime and necessity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So why do people commit crimes?
Right.
I'm not saying why all people commit crimes. I'm saying
Why
there
do you
are
think?
people who commit crimes because they have no other choice.
Got it. So why
not
is it
the
that other
average.
people that are as poor as they are in separate racial groups don't commit crimes at the same rates? For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit over 50% of the crimes. Why is that?
Black people, I would say, not blacks.
Okay,
but
it's not. I could say whites and you wouldn't care. So
Anyway,
yeah, hold on.
That
right?
it's racist
I can say
to say
Hispanics
that-
you wouldn't care. So
I
don't
think
police
I
my
might, but
language.
whatever. I'm not policing your language. I'm just saying I would say black
Fair
people.
enough.
She actually did police his language, but let's move on.
But the insinuation is that I'm being racist. But that's fine.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
your opinion.
Yeah,
No, that's your opinion.
So black Americans are 13% of the population and commit anywhere between 50 to 56% of murders, crimes, carjackings. Why is that?
Well, what percentage of the white population is living in the same level of poverty?
Got it. So there's twice as many white Americans in poverty as black Americans. Not the same percentage, but still. If you look at white Americans in poverty, they commit far less crimes than black Americans in poverty. Why is that?
And that's a peculiar thing to think about. White Americans are, if blacks are only 13% of the population, right? Then assuming, whites are at least 40%, so they're more than triple the amount. So it only, by the law of numbers alone, it makes more sense that more people are on welfare that are white than black. But what doesn't make sense is how such a small amount of the population commits half to 60% of all violent crime in the United States, period. Doesn't matter where you go. 60, 55, 60%. There's something dead wrong there, brother.
And maybe it's because when you're in a store, like they follow black people and they don't follow white people.
What about murder?
Actually, black people follow me in the store, and I've never seen a black person followed in the store. I think she's completely off her rocker here.
Rural?
No, but why is it that, like, just saying murder, why is it that black people commit so many more
white people
murders?
live in rural
Like, that's not,
Yeah, why
you're
are they
being
killing
followed in a
people?
store and you commit more murders?
Yeah.
You're making the rule, or I'll get to you in a sec, but
Okay,
it's not,
anyway.
it's not a good argument. But let me just go back to what
Yeah,
you
he's
said.
right. It's so terrible. But like, yeah, he's like, oh, I'll get to you later, boy. I'm coming for you.
Systemic
Whatever, you're
racism,
good.
right? So the idea of systemic is that it's
Yeah.
within our laws. There are some black Americans here listening. What can you as a white American do that the black American cannot do?
Nothing.
Let's see. I
Nothing.
could go into a store and not get followed. The police,
False. I've
like
been
the
followed.
police could not track me down on like when I'm driving. I'm less likely to get shot and killed.
That's also not true. Whites are. A black guy from Harvard did a study. Black people are far less likely to be gunned down by a cop than white people. In fact, white people get gunned down way more than black people.
While
That's
I'm
an actual
driving,
fact.
There's a lot of things that I can do.
Okay, so just be clear. So if you walk into a local CVS here, how would you guys be treated differently?
Well, they would
wouldn't.
probably say hello, and they would probably like just walk like
So is that why they murder people? Because someone didn't say hello? You see where he's going?
let me in and like not follow me, and then
So these are a
If-
lot of probablys. I don't believe you, but I'm talking about laws,
Right,
right?
I don't
So
believe.
what in the legal code of America can you as a white individual
go.
do that
There
the
we
black
go.
individual can't? Because systemic means it's in our code, right? It's like,
Right.
it's, for example, like Jim Crow, totally
in our
get it. That's
blueprint.
systemic racism. What is systemically your advantage?
maybe like housing codes, because I know redlining isn't a thing anymore, but there is like
Nope.
isn't there people who are white are more likely to be given loans because of like they have less like I don't know
When a bank checks your credit score is either high, you've either got a reputation of good payment or bad payment. They don't care about your name or your skin color. Banks are trying to make money. They don't want to give people money who aren't going to be good lender or they're not going to give someone money who has a bad track record. They absolutely want to give money out because they make money on the money they lend. So it doesn't make sense for them to deny a loan when they would make tons of money off of it. Her argument is just so wrong.
that's just the like it's back from redlining. Like it's a lot of the same stuff.
Dang.
I don't buy into any
I'm
of
almost
that.
done
So
with
I
my
just kind of go.
Coke.
You don't buy into redlining, or you don't buy
I
that
don't buy
it's
into redlining. I don't buy any of that stuff they have to say. In fact, it's the opposite. Loans
Right,
are now
it
given
is
favorably
opposite.
to black Americans
That's
in
true.
certain cities over white Americans.
okay, but
And
let's,
so
So
cities,
you think
because of
redline-
I believe in, I know redlining existed.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
debate that. Of course it has. But because of DEI and because of affirmative action, there's actually a preference given. But so let's go back to fathers, right?
okay, let's go back to fathers.
So something happened to black America since 1965.
Where are the dads?
So in 1965, so
You mean the war on drugs?
right, well, so if that's your contention, that's fine. So in order to go to jail for the war on drugs, you have to be dealing drugs, right? Or you have to be caught
Yeah.
with drugs. So if you
Yeah,
don't
which is one of like
So if you don't have drugs, then you don't go to jail. Imagine that. If a police officer pulls you over and you're smoking weed, Kamala's going to prosecute you and keep you in jail. It is what it is.
the main jobs that you can have in a like poverty-stricken. Like if there's no jobs, like you're going to do drugs. I mean, you're gonna trade drugs
no,
because
it's-
that's the
it's
only
such a-
option
It's
you
such
have.
a difference in worldview. You're making excuses for criminals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
what
exactly.
what an insult
no.
to poor immigrants that came to this country that didn't commit crimes
Right.
and worked 2 or 3 jobs and worked themselves out of poverty and didn't decide to go deal coke.
Well, my father is a white immigrant from Poland, and he committed crimes, and he's fine now. So
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, he
I
did.
thought there was systemic racism. I thought that doesn't happen.
She just talked about her dad being an illegal, and she talked how she was raised in a single mother home, how the dad was never there, the dad's not with her, and then she's going to make an excuse for her dad. Come on, this girl's so We cannot judge. Let's not judge. Let's hear what she has to say. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Okay, I'm
very
good.
much.
I never said white people don't go to jail. I said they go more, and you're
They
saying that
definitely
white
do.
immigrants are fine and they don't.
No,
I'm
that's
saying
far
that they
less
do.
actually. I'm glad he went to jail. He committed a
I'm out
crime.
of coke. Dang.
I think it's terrible.
Yeah,
So,
well-
but at the core of it, we
We need her dad to start dealing coke. I'm out.
have a difference in worldview, right? My worldview is I'm not sympathetic to people that steal, that loot,
Absolutely.
and murder, because that's a
Absolutely.
values problem.
That's
And
right.
I don't like making excuses for people that do things that are obviously destructive. Secondly, we have a problem in Black America. The biggest problem is
No
not
doubt
racism.
about it.
It's
No
the
doubt
lack
about
of
it.
dads. If dads are around, kids flourish. And you know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign.
That's
He
actually
came to
right.
this
Yep.
campus back in 2012, drew like a 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we need to rebuild the black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that anymore?
I'm fine with having
No,
fathers.
no,
I'm not against having black dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years?
Nope.
Yeah, I mean,
Nope.
we've heard about
Probably
like,
not.
yeah, and
Because
why
there's
is that?
bigger issues.
No, there isn't. See, that's the issue. Is that
That's the issue. There is no bigger issue. Blacks are causing 13% of the population is committing 50 to 60% of all of the worst crimes you can commit. Period. It's terrible. Why is that? Well, the black father doesn't stay in the family. Okay, well, let's dissect that. Well, there's bigger issues. No, there's not. Well, racism, not a thing. I'm sorry, it's not a thing. Out of all the racism I've experienced, I would say, actually, now that I think about it, I've never had anyone be racist to me except for black people. Now, I'm not saying that they're all like that. I live in a predominantly black area, so my experience with blacks is a lot uh, uh, more daily than a lot of other people's. I live like probably, we used to be the murder capital of the world not too long ago. And, I see them every day. Nice as they can be, very sweet. I get along with them. They do their whole thing. I do mine. They love me and all that. But, there is a huge problem. And a lot of jobs that I do for my full-time job, I'm around some very racist people. I get treated pretty poorly often, and it's always by black people. I just let it roll off my back, like a duck in water. I mean, I just let it roll off and I say, okay, well, they're racist and that's just their worldview. And I get to myself and then, I just don't do a job for them ever again, just cut them off. But I mean, you do what you can. But in my personal experience, right or wrong, I would say the only people that have ever been racist to me have been blacks, 100%.
this is what makes us different. As a conservative,
And I'm nice. Chad, am I nice? I'm nice. Look at my face. Look at my
They
face.
came over here, walked past me like, I'm funky.
I'm nice. I'm nice. Look how nice I am.
I focus on if you have family breakdown, don't worry about climate change. Don't worry about systemic racism. All that stuff is like these crazy
What do
abstractions.
you think create family problems? Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have
Right.
broken families.
Okay, so, but that's
We're
interesting.
not taking black people away from their families. They're taking themselves away. There's no dads. They're choosing to leave. Why?
How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? They're not staying with the women they're impregnating. So, for example, there 13% of the population.
So here's another question. If black men are leaving, why are they leaving? Is it black women that are the problem? Out of any race on planet Earth, black women are responsible for, bar none, the most abortions, overwhelmingly so, not even close to any other race. So not only are they murdering people, they're murdering babies. And I'm not saying let's get up in arms about black people. I want to talk about what's the problem. Why is this? Why are black women aborting? And why are single parents, why is 80% of jail full of single parent households, single mother households? And why are the black men leaving? I know a lot of black men. They're just like me. We're no different. They want the same things I want. They want a good woman that they can stick with. They don't want any drama. They want to eat. They want to be happy. And they want to play video games. Other than that, That's really all that I hear. And I talk to thousands, tens of thousands of them, to be quite frank with you. And that seems to be the common denominator amongst them all. They all want to do that. They want to eat good, they want to be respected, and they want to play video games. And that's it. That's it. That's what I want to do. We're no different. So I would say, what's wrong with the women? What are the women doing? The men are obviously leaving. Could be the men are just a, waste, and they've just decided we don't have to stick with her because why would I? And maybe it is the men's fault. But it brings up a curious question. If overwhelmingly majority of the amount of men are leaving, then what are the women doing? And why is it that the women are making the men leave? Or why is it that the men are leaving on their own? We just don't know.
Is black. Not every single person ends up in jail, obviously. And yet there's huge child abandonment because there's a cultural expectation that is different in black America.
Where I'm at, the blacks down here do not value life at all. I mean, there's literally murders every other day. I mean, some parts of town that I work in, I hear active gunshots every day. I mean, seriously. It's just like a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them do not value human life at all.
Than in white America, which is it's okay to impregnate a woman and abandon her in black America. It's not
based on what? What is that based on?
That's a good question. Where does it come from? It's just based on.
No, I'm saying what is that like your view of black America?
Well, it's not a view. It's true. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at.
Yeah, it's not a view. These are statistics and facts. These are from like FBI statistics. These are people who have been booked. I mean, that's how we come to these conclusions.
At Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele that have done amazing analysis on this. It's that. In black culture, that is not considered to be a stigma. In white upper middle class culture, for those of you that grew up in Waukesha or Libertyville or grew up in Hinsdale or grew up in Naperville, you guys all know those neighborhoods. If you impregnate a woman, and you just like abandon her, that's frowned upon. That is a social stigma in upper middle class white culture.
That's right.
And it's not in black culture?
No.
It's not normal in white culture. It's not. In black culture, they could care less. I mean, based on what I've seen, he is right.
In fact, it's glorified by the rap culture. It is.
That's true.
I think
Yes.
rap culture is
it's profitable to do that. He's dead right.
showing what happened. I don't think it's.
Do you think that the songs that are the most popular in black America are uplifting black America to be better versions of themselves?
I think the most popular
like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. Do you think that they're like empowering people to be great?
Well,
I heard a Cardi B song and it was talking about throats, if you know what I mean. It didn't sound too uplifting or nice.
I do think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are empowering, but when you talk about
Wow.
black, like
at all.
let's go
Oh,
like
girl.
Kendrick or whatever, like
Not at
they're
all.
talking about their life experiences and they're saying this is what happened to me, and people relate to that because that's also what happened to them. It's not saying this is the greatest thing in the entire world.
Does it lift up the audience to become better?
I would think so.
No,
because it's like
How?
because it's saying we all relate to this. We can all like this is our story.
all
This is
murder
we
each
can be
other.
like
We
better
can
than
all sell
this.
coke together.
Even though it's like I mean
We
there's
can be
better,
coke
there's not
buddies.
better. It depends on what your worldview is, but I think that rap is good
Drug
because it can like
buddies.
No, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm saying like just the essence, the core, the ethos is not exactly about like quitting drinking, quitting drugs, and getting married and having children.
no, it's about what you have done, not about like
It's about getting
No, but
women.
it's like to be clear,
Getting
like
them.
in black rap culture, is it generally glorified to go sleep with a lot of women?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean that's your view of it.
I'm asking
No.
a question. Is it in black
No,
rap
that is the view.
culture?
I
Yes
think-
or no, guys? In black rap culture,
Is glorify women.
to be able to
Yeah.
sleep with a lot of women.
I mean I think that's one aspect. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just take that aspect.
Because it's a luxury that people can do, and like it's one of the things that people can do, and everyone
Luxury.
can
We're
relate
talking
to,
about poverty.
or a lot of people can relate
Shouldn't
to.
ideally your culture try to elevate and try to challenge the individual to virtue and goodness, not try to bring them down to the lowest parts of
No,
their...
who is? No, I'm
Depravity.
not saying that they are bringing them down. I'm saying that this is what they are doing, and they are sharing their experiences. They're not saying this is the best thing in the entire world. They're saying this is what I have been through.
like sleeping with a lot of women,
Yeah.
or like gang violence and
Selling coke.
I mean, if that's what, like, a lot of people have been through gang violence
Little
because
booger
that's
sugar.
what's happening in their neighborhoods. That's
You got to watch out for that white devil, brother. It'll get you.
they feel like that's the only option. And you might know that that's not the only option, but when you are living in that neighborhood
Got it.
and you don't see any jobs, this is how your family was raising you, what other option do you have? And once you're in it, it's really hard to get out.
So got it. You talk about systemic racism and that being a major driver of Black America's failure to launch, if you will. We subsidize single motherhood in this country. So if you stay single as a single mother, you get money from the federal government.
And the courts support it. The black folks have figured out that if they have a bunch of children with a bunch of different men, they get a government check until they're 18. Now, what's stupid about that, and it is stupid, is you only get that check until they're 18. Then figure your life out. So a lot of these women are having 8, 9 kids. The government was paying them for it. $4,000 a month. Here you go. Enjoy. And do you think those mothers were spending that money on those kids? I can tell you emphatically, heck no. You know why? Because I work in these communities and I see it. It is not happening. I talk to these people. Not happening. All of them drive a nicer car than I do. They all have brand new 2025 vehicles, 2024 at the time, 2020. All of these vehicles brand new. They've got a nice 85-inch TV. They're living in a trailer or a dump, but they've got a nice huge TV. They've got a snack kitchen that's full to the ceiling. It's unbelievable what these people are spending their money on. They've got goat carts, they've got, trucks, they've got all of these things. And, it's so appalling. So we do fund them, at least until Trump got in office. And now that's not going to fly.
And it's basically subsidized, if you will.
Sure.
Can we at least agree that if the nuclear family in Black America was stronger and tighter knit, that would be a good thing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In a lot of cases, yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see them win. I want to see them win. There's a level of peace when you do things the right way. When you do things the right way, you do things the way you're supposed to do, and you're blameless, and you've worked hard, and you feel good about it. You've created something important. Like chat with me and my family. Like I've got a wife and several kids, and they're my pride and joy, and I've worked very hard to make sure they're well taken care of. It makes me feel good. I'm not selling drugs. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not evading paying taxes. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. There's a level of peace you get by following God's law. And if you're not a Christian, just following the law of the government, working hard, doing good, treating your neighbor right, loving your neighbor. It'll just work out. I want black people to experience that because quite frankly, talking to vast majorities of tens of thousands of them, I do not get that they feel that peace at all. In fact, I think they're looking for it and they don't know how to find it. I want them to win. I do, because I think it'll shape up America and it'll be a better place.
I think if the father's abusive,
Sorry
I would
for the
not
rant,
want him
guys.
there. So I think it really depends on what family you're talking about. I don't think you can generalize
What
and
percentage of fathers do you think are abusive?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would say it's probably small, right?
Less than
Not
7%.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have not done research on
Yeah,
what
no, I don't know
percentage of
either,
fathers
but
are
generally
abusive.
it's good
That's my guess.
when mom and dad stays around and is raising the kid.
I would say if they are both healthy parents and they are both ready to have a child, it's great.
Got it.
My father, not ready to have a child, do not want him around
just
me.
one last question on role models. Let's say there's a black kid right now. Would you rather have that black kid have a role model be Kendrick Lamar or Clarence Thomas?
Kendrick, obviously.
So not the black American on the United States Supreme Court.
No, he's trying to ban interracial marriage. He's trying to do all.
Wow, no, he's in an interracial marriage.
He's
He
in an
literally,
interracial marriage.
He's married to a white
I had to
woman.
Yeah, I
think
know
for
the
a
Roe
second,
v.
yeah.
Wade
So he-
thing goes against.
He's trying to ban his own marriage?
Yes.
I thought I've
I'm
heard
sorry to break
everything.
it to you.
So
No,
we agree
that's-
that there should be better role models, maybe?
That's a hot take. No.
When have I ever said that there should not be? I'm agreeing with you that there should be fathers if they
No,
are
I know,
right
it's
for
fine.
that. We're agreeing. I
And
think.
last question, you're voting for Kamala, I'm guessing?
How
Yeah.
can you tell? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
what's her
Obviously.
greatest accomplishment?
Probably capping capping the insulin at $35.
She did that. Yeah. What else?
That was Biden.
I mean, you said her greatest. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing
That was actually Biden.
that goes off the top of my mind is like, like, big pharma.
That's all we need to see, boys. That's all we need to see, boys and girls. So, tons of wisdom. I love watching Charlie. He's such a skilled debater. And what I really like about him is he can rationalize his position fairly, and he's very, very intelligent. I hate that we've lost him. It does break my heart. When I found out he had died, it really took me for a loop. I was messed up for like 3 days, and I'd watched every video he has ever made for the most part. And he was a vast majority of my college life growing up, and going through those tough years, just seeing how he could easily rationalize being a good person, because being a Christian is still heavily looked down on. And you know what? I don't blame you. A lot of modern day Christians have turned me away from Christianity, but I always looked at it like it's my journey and not anyone else's, and there's bad sheep in every flock, and so sometimes you just have to take the good with the bad. But overall, it has given me peace to my life, and I wish to give you guys the same peace that I've experienced, because there's nothing like it on this earth, and I don't think there ever will be with anything else. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you're watching all the way to the end, and if you did, leave me a comment saying, Parker, I watched the whole video. I would really appreciate that. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you are new. Thank you again for spending time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace.